Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare
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 Hare Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
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 Rama,
Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare Hare Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
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 Hare Rama,
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
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 Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare Rama, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare
Hare Hare Rama, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Jai
Krishna,
Sri
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Chaitanya
Hare
Prabhu
Hare, Hare
Nityananda,
Ram, Hare
Shri Advaita
Ram, Ram
Gadadhar
Ram,
Sri Vasadi Gaura
Hare
Bhakta
Krishna,
Vrinda,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Jai
Krishna,
Sri
Hare
Radhe
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Jai
Hare
Sri
Ram,
Radhe
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Jai Sri Radhe
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Jai
Krishna,
Guru
Hare Hare,
Maharaj,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram.
Hare Mona, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Mona,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Mona,
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Mona,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Rama,
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare Mona,
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Rama, Rama,
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Mona,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram Hare
Rama,
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Mona,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Mona,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Mona,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Mona,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Mona, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Mona,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Mona, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Mona,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Mona, Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Mona,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Mona,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Mona,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Mona,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram Ram,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Mona,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Ram Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Mona,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Mona,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare Mona,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Mona,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Mona,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Mona,
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Mona,
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Rama,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Rama,
Hare Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Rama Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
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 Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Rama Rama,
Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Rama
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Hare Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Hare Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna Hare
Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Rama,
Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare
Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Rama,
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Guna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Guna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Guna Hare Guna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Guna Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Guna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Guna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Guna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Guna
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Guna Hare
Hare
Guna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Guna Hare Guna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Guna Hare Guna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Guna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Guna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Guna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Guna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Guna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Guna Hare
Ram Ram.
Hare Hare Rama,
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Hare
Prabhu
Guna
Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Hare
Srivasadi
Hare Rama, Hare Guna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Guna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Guna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Guna Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama, Hare Guna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Guna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Ram Hare Ram,
Rama, Hare Guna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Guna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Guna Hare Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Guna
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Guna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna,
We are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Okay, so
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranams.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Oh, that's it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, so this is all in. This section is the interaction between Shanda Amarka and Prahlad. Okay, so the next verse we'll read. They are chastising Prahlad because he is not telling them the cause of how he learned all about Krishna consciousness. So next verse we'll read. Tata enam gurur gyatva yatyagneya chatuštayam daityendram darshayam asa matrir mishtam alankritam. After some time, the teacher Shanda and Amarka thought that Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently educated in the diplomatic affairs of pacifying public leaders, appeasing them by giving them lucrative posts. Okay, I'll read this again. After some time, the teacher Shanda and Amarka thought that Prahlad Maharaj was sufficiently educated in the diplomatic affairs of pacifying public leaders, appeasing them by giving them lucrative posts, dividing and ruling over them, and punishing them in cases of disobedience. So they are teaching Prahlad, and they are thinking that Prahlad is learning now. Then one day, after Prahlad's mother had personally washed the body and dressed him nicely with sufficient ornaments, they presented him before his father. So Shanda and Amarka were now confident that Prahlad is learning nicely, and so they wanted to maybe clear up their image, and they wanted to show to Hiranyakashipu how nicely we are teaching Prahlad. So they again brought Prahlad back. Prahlad came before his father again, and we'll see what happens. It is essential for a student who is going to be a ruler or king to learn the four diplomatic principles. There is always a rivalry between a king and his citizens. Therefore, when a citizen agitates the public against the king, the duty of the king is to call him and try to pacify him with sweet words, saying, "You are very important in the state. Why should you disturb the public with some new cause for agitation?" So this is the first of the 4 ways of diplomacy. First is you communicate and you try to pacify so that there is no revolution amongst the public. The king should try to pacify the public uh, with sweet words. If the citizen is not pacified, still if the citizen is not pacified, the king should then offer him some lucrative post as governor or minister. Any post that draws a high salary so that he may be agreeable. This is like bribing or offering some, tempting them. Okay, they're not getting pacified, so okay, give them a high position so that they can be agreeable. If still enemy still goes on agitating the public, the king should try to create dissension in the enemy's camp. So if the public is still against, then try to divide and rule. Bhed, this is called bhed. But if it still continues, so first is pacify, second is bribe, tempt them by giving them some post. Third is divide, make the enemy weak by creating faction in the enemy camp. And then, if that doesn't work, the king should, if it still continues, the king should employ argumentum ad culum, severe punishment, by putting him in jail or placing him before a firing squad. So, danda, danda means punish them. If they are still not listening, then what can be done? Then you have to punish them. This is the 4 ways in. The teachers appointed by Hiranyakashipu taught Prahlad Maharaj how to be a diplomat so that he could rule over the citizens very nicely. So to keep the kingdom in order and so that everybody is like following the king, these are some of the tactics that Sandai and Amarka taught Prahlad. And they thought, because Prahlad was probably not saying anything, previously he said, I don't see friends and enemies, I don't see all these distinctions. And now they are just saying that, I mean, he didn't speak anything, so they thought he's learning, he's absorbing what we are teaching him nicely. We are teaching him, he's learning very nicely. So they felt confident. And Prahlad was given a bath nicely, dressed in nice ornaments, and then brought before his father. Okay. Does anybody like to say anything on this verse? Okay, so next verse. Padayo patitam balam pratinandya sisasuraha parishvajya chiram dorbhyam Paramamam Apanivritam. We have Shyam Sundar Prabhu with us. I don't know if he's there or not, but it's long to hear. See him. Shyam Sundar Prabhu there. When Hiranyakashipu saw that his child had fallen at his feet and was offering obeisances, so Prahlad was very submissive to his father. He offered his pranam at the feet of Hiranyakashipu. As an affectionate father, he immediately began showering blessings upon the child and embraced him with both arms. So he embraced his child, very loving relationship. A father naturally feels happy to embrace his son, and Hiranyakashipu became very happy in this way. Okay, there is no purport. Narad Muni continued, My dear King Yudhishthir, Hiranyakashipu seated Prahlad Maharaj on his lap and began smelling his head. It's a sign of affection, it's smelling head, with affectionate tears gliding down from his eyes and moistening the child's smiling face. So Hiranyakashipu was crying, although he was so terrible demon. He was crying, crying out of affection for his son. And those tears fell on the child's smiling face, and it made his face wet. He spoke to his son as follows. So even the lioness is very kind to its cubs, right? Very fierce for others, but for the cubs very kind. So sometimes we say this affection is there. Family affection is even there in the animals, right? It's not only in human beings. And we say these are four things common: ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Maithuna means, of course, it means sex life, but it means that out of sex life you procreate, and they also have affection for their family. So these are common things to human beings and animals. Just like we human beings, we love our children and things. The animals also love their children very much. Every species of life, and especially the mother, right? Even the father, but more like the mother, is very attached to its children. So these are common things. Okay. If a child or disciple falls at the feet, so the distinguishing factor in human life is that we can understand higher. We can make our children Krishna conscious. Animals cannot make their children Krishna conscious. So that's the difference. Prabhupada would say, don't beget children like cats and dogs, like sometimes pigs. They will beget so many children at one time. Don't beget so many children. And if you cannot make them Krishna conscious. So in one lecture he was saying like that. Prabhupada was saying. So it's a great responsibility to make them Krishna conscious. And if you can, then as Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, then you can have so many children if you can make all of them devotees nicely. Okay. Actually, it is said, what is that verse? Guru na sasyat, janani na sasyat, pita na sasyat. Right? Guru na sasyat, Guru na sasyat, janani na sasyat.
Guru na sasyasva jano na sasyat pita na janani
Na sasyat. Devam na tatsyan, na patischa sasyan, namo chayedya samupeta mrityam. Yeah. It says, one who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Okay, so first we have to also be convinced that the goal of life is to become free from the cycle of birth and death, and then we have to help the children become Krishna conscious. Okay. If the child or disciple falls at the feet of the father or spiritual master, the superior responds by smelling the head of the subordinate. Is another way to reciprocate, by smelling the head. Okay. Next verse. Hiranyakashipur uvacha praradanu chatam tata svaditam kinchiduttamam kalene tava tayushman yad ashik sadgurur bhavan. Hiranyakashipu said, my dear Prahlad, my dear son, O long-lived one. We gave his blessing, O long-lived one, Ayushman Bhava. For so much time, you have heard many things from your teachers. Now, please repeat to me whatever you think is the best of that knowledge. You studied so many things for quite some time. Now, tell me what is the best thing you learned. In this verse, Hiranyakashipu inquires from his son what he has learned from his guru, from the teachers. Prahlad Maharaj's gurus were of two kinds, Shanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya, in the seminal disciplic succession, were the gurus appointed by his father. So there were Shanda and Amarka, they were like in the lineage, right? Kul Guru, something like that. They are in the seminal disciplic succession. Means father, son, like that. But his other guru was the exalted Narad Muni, who had instructed Prahlad when Prahlad was within the womb of his mother. Prahlad Maharaj responded to the inquiry of his father with the instructions he had received from his spiritual master, Narad. So he is going to say what he learned from the teachers. Yes. Thus there was again a difference of opinion because Prahlad Maharaj wanted to relate the best thing he had learned from his spiritual master, whereas Hiranyakashipu expected to hear about the politics and diplomacy Prahlad had learned from Shanda and Amarka. So Prahlad is going to speak about what he has learned from Narad Muni. And Hiranyakashipu expected that he would say all this diplomacy on how to control the people. And so now the dissension between the father and son became increasingly intense as Prahlad Maharaj began to say what he had learned from his guru Narad Muni. So disagreement between father and son. So the famous verse, this is the biggest purport, I think, one of the biggest purports on this verse Prabhupada has given, because this is the foundation of devotional service. Prabhupada explaining in the purport every limb of devotional service. Shri Prarad Uvacha, again we have Prarad, not Prahlad. Sometimes, I don't know Sanskrit, but it says L. Shri Prarad Uvacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsar Pita Vishnu, Bhakti Shenava Lakshana, Kriyeta Bhagvat Yadha, Tanmanyaditam Uttamam. So this is Prahlad's reply. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto Him, in other words, serving Him with body, mind and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So if we spend our life in the service of Krishna through these 9 processes, Prahlad Maharaj says you are the best person, you are the most learned person. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. It doesn't say if you have a PhD or anything like that. He says this is the most learned. So what is the best of everything you've learned? So this is the best thing I've learned. That anybody who wants to be learned should dedicate his life to service of Krishna through these 9 methods. And anyone can give you perfection. Right? We say any one of the 9 processes. But in this age, without chanting the holy name, It's very difficult. This is Kali Yuga. Other things are there, but the most important, what is that? Of
सार मध्ये सर्वश्रेष्ठ हरि नाम संकीर्तन निरपराधे नाम हे आया प्रेम धन.
Yes.
Another verse, it says एक कृष्ण नाम करे सर्व पाप क्षय नवा विधा भक्ति पूर्ण नाम होते होए. Other processes they are not complete unless they are accompanied by chanting the holy name.
Yeah. So other processes require chanting. Chanting is self-sufficient. You don't need anything else. But of course, to remain inspired to chant, we have to read Prabhupada's books and remain inspired. Right? Otherwise, inspiration will go down. So it's all about inspiration. Right? Everything in life, the more we are inspired, the more we can pursue that path very seriously. Right? So we have to inspire ourselves. And we are in the kingdom of Maya, so naturally our inspiration goes down. And Maya finds so many reasons, right? I mean, gives so many excuses why we cannot chant, why we cannot do this. So, so we have to see how to remain inspired in chanting. Prabhupada told one of his disciples, who was Hansaduta. Hansaduta asked, Prabhupada asked Hansaduta, why did I write so many books? And Hansaduta said, well, so that we can understand the philosophy, we can preach nicely. And Prabhupada says, no, I wrote all these books to inspire you to chant the holy name. And if you chant the holy name, then there is no need to read the books. Of course, we have to read the books, but yeah. So the more we understand, right, our sambandha, relationship with Krishna, from reading, from knowing the nature of this material world, who am I, then we will practice this process very nicely. So, if you have good sambandh, then there is service. Right? If the children and parents have good sambandha, then there is give and take, right? There is service. In husband and wife, if they have good relationship, then there is service. So if we establish our relationship with Krishna, then we'll do service to Krishna. If we understand our relationship with Krishna. And Krishna is already serving us. Krishna is already serving us by giving so many things to us for our sustenance. Like Krishna in the 15th chapter we were reading, Krishna is saying, I am the Jataragni, I am the fire of digestion. And I help you digest all kinds of food stuff. Like that, so many things. Everything actually. So Krishna is already serving us. Now we have to acknowledge that yes, Krishna loves us and he is serving us, so I have to serve him back. And how do you serve him? Well, this is the 9 process, 9 ways. This is devotional service. So these 9 ways you can serve him. Of course, preaching is not mentioned here, but that is understood that
Kirtanam, that comes under Kirtanam.
yeah. So preaching is
Sankirtan.
yeah.
Book distribution, talking about Krishna, Kirtanam.
Kirtanam, yes. Because when you go out, you speak about Krishna, or the books speak about Krishna. So then you give them the books, and so that is Sankirtanam. Prabhupada is speaking through his books to us. So we should see that, okay, what Prabhupada has to tell me today through his purport. Our Guru is giving us every day a class. If we read his purport, he's telling us. And we should take this very seriously, right? Just as like our Guru tells us something, we should take these purports very seriously. Because there is also instruction Prabhupada is giving us through his books. and he's our Shiksha Guru for everybody in ISKCON. So when Prahlad Maharaj was asked by his father to say something from whatever he had learned, he considered that what he had learned from his spiritual master was the best of all teachings, whereas what he had learned about diplomacy from his material teacher Shandai Namarka was useless. So he was evaluating both the teachings he was getting from Shandai Namarka and from Narad Muni, and he came to the conclusion that Narad Muni, what he taught, is very valuable. This is what Shandai Namarka are teaching is useless. So he spoke what he learned from his teachers, means from Narad Muni. Bhakti pareshanubhava virakti anyatra cha. This is the symptom of pure devotional service. A pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, not in material affairs. Yeah. Because he knows there is nothing in this world really to achieve. So everything he does is connects it with Krishna. And otherwise, he's not interested in material affairs and material sense gratification and all that, because he's pure devotee. We may not be there, but pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, not in material affairs. Of course, everything can be dovetailed, as we were saying also. Then slowly, we can be from mixed devotee, one can become a pure devotee. A pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, because pure devotee has purchased Krishna, right? Imagine the Supreme Lord becomes your property. So Krishna is very careful. He knows everything. We cannot pretend, right? He is right in our heart, so he knows what we are interested in. A pure devotee is interested only in devotional service, not in material affairs. To execute devotional service, one should always engage in hearing and chanting about Krishna or Lord Vishnu. Shravanam and Kirtanam, we should always do. The process of temple worship is called Archan. We may say, how can we always engage in chanting and hearing? It's not possible. Yeah, it depends on the taste, right? If you have taste, then it can be possible. But then I have to do my job and I have to do so many things. So, so how can we do this?
So, this is called direct devotional service, right? Shravanam Kirtanam. While engaging in work and using our results in Krishna's service is an indirect devotional service that comes in the lower rung of the yoga ladder, according to the chapter 12, right? Maiva manadatswa, my buddhi nivesha, just fix your mind on me, is the first raganuga bhakti. So, as we progress in it. So yesterday somebody was asking this question. Athens. So it's talking about Varnashram. As you are aging about 50 years of age, you should quit, work and you engage more in direct devotional service. Because this is what is recommended.
Yes, and then we should also engage others in hearing and chanting about Krishna. Right? We say, so we should help others also engage, because that is like the mood of Lord Chaitanya, to give this. So we chant and hear, and we have to engage others in hearing and chanting about Krishna also. That is also, because there are Bhajananandis and there are Goshtyanandis devotees. So a Goshtyanandi is a Bhajananandi who
Preaches.
Yes. So we have to become nice with our bhajan, and then we go out and so. But then how will everything be maintained, right? So at some point we say, we call it quits. At some point it's now in Varnashram, okay, it's done. So I have done my duties, now I can. And then, but the problem is that how will I be maintained? That is the big thing, right? Who will give me? I need money to buy food, and I need money if I am sick. Then I need to go to a doctor. I have to pay my insurance, right? If I don't have insurance, then how will I go to doctor and everything? So that is there, yeah. We feel like that is, but there are many devotees, right? They don't do. I mean, depending on Krishna, right? So that is there also, and they are supported by devotees. Right? So many different devotees who have dedicated. Somehow Krishna will find a way to support you if you engage in his service. Ananya
Ananya Cheta Satam Yomam Surati Nityasam.
Ananya Chintayantu Mam. Yeah, that words. Ananya Chintayantu Mam, Ye Jana Pariyupasate.
Tesham Nitya Vyastani Vakshini Vahanyam.
Krishna will provide. So, so yeah, so that is the somehow or other Krishna will take care of me. So that is the faith. So the devotee, and he is fully engaged. Like we have Arjunacharya's example. It says, yeah,
And if somebody can do this direct devotional service throughout the life, I mean, that is a topmost devotee, right? Full-time bhakta. Because
yeah,
we cannot do full-time bhakti, that's why, I mean, we have other desires, that's why we enter into Grahasthashram. And we
yeah.
have to work and do other things. Otherwise, direct devotional service, the Navavada Bhakti is what is the topmost.
Yeah, and sometimes if the guru says, right, you have to do this, like who was that Jayananda Prabhu was driving a taxi and he was supporting the temple, right? He gave, Prabhupada acknowledges him, he gave money for Bhagavad Gita or Krishna book. So sometimes whatever is required, if the guru tells you, then you have to do that so that for the purpose of mission of spreading Krishna consciousness, right? Sometimes some things may be required to do like that for the time being or something like that. So that is also in that sense because it is connected to Krishna and you're doing it for Krishna and you're so yeah. So whatever like Arjuna was fighting, right? He was told because he was Kshatriya and he was told to fight, and it's a pure devotee also. So it is also coming from the parampara, the order, and how we perform that activity in what
Our
consciousness,
nature,
our nature
our
also.
nature,
Yeah,
yeah. We are Vaishya or Kshatriya, then we cannot be like a Brahmana doing this things, reading scriptures and chanting all the time.
yeah, yeah. So that is why sometimes it may be difficult. I mean, but of course, hearing and chanting about Krishna will give you a lot of happiness. Ultimately, we do all this, but our nature maybe not so much to do Brahminical activities. So we like to do organization, like Kshatriyas, they like to do organization, and they like other things, how to conduct festivals, and sometimes devotees do all kinds of services because whatever is required, right? They will do the needful. If the bathroom is dirty, then the bathroom has to be cleaned. Then it's not like Brahminical activity, but because it is for Krishna, so I will do. I cleaning like cleaning the temple, right? That is also cleaning the bathrooms and all these things. So many. So because it is connected to Krishna.
I, yeah, I think that will lead to purification of heart. That can lead to anything that we do with the pure heart. It should increase our chanting. So, like Dukhi was doing menial service of getting the pots, and the result was she got ecstatic love for Krishna, and she was chanting and dancing.
Yes.
So, right?
Yeah, serving. She was helping the devotees, right? So temple, yeah, you help in the temple. make the temple a nice place for people to come, make it clean. Because people like to come to a clean place, right? So that is also service. I mean, it's also the consciousness in which you do, right? That is also very important. So, what is my, if I'm doing with the attitude of pleasing Krishna, then that's also, yeah, because we may be chanting, but our mind may be going all over the place, and we may be thinking, when is the chanting going to, I just want to finish my rounds, and just so like that also. So, there, everything depends on the attitude in which you do, and of course, if it is coming from the parampara, the direction is coming that you need to do this, then yeah. Like Prabhupada was crying in Vrindavan. Sometimes he was in ecstasy, chanting the holy name. But because his Guru Maharaj had told him to go and to the West and preach, he was doing everything, trying everything to fulfill the order. And of course, this is pleasing to Krishna. Everything is ultimately connected to preaching. The mission is to save the conditioned souls. So even in temple we have kirtan. Of course, it benefits us first. But because there is nice kirtan, people will come and join in the kirtan. Right? They like. So if the deities are very beautifully decorated, right, then people will come to see, oh, how nicely the deities are decorated. And so everything is connected to prasadam is cooked nicely, then people will come. Mostly people come at the prasadam time. So if everything is done in proper consciousness like that, it will attract so many people to come. If the attitude is to please Krishna, then we can attract so many people. As he was saying, you become empowered. But if you become a spotlight, then Krishna will not empower you. But if you become a lighthouse means you want to give, you want to do good for others, to connect them with Krishna without any ulterior motive of my personal, then Krishna will empower you, because he will see, yes, this is a very sincere person, and so many people will come also.
And Yatma Suprasidati, that person will always be satisfied,
Yeah, he will also
because it's done unconditionally.
correct. The person will also be satisfied, and right, like Prabhupada was told, you print books, it will do good for you and it will do good for others. So this is also devotional service to connect others with Krishna. It relieves the anxiety of the Lord. I mean, there are so many souls, so of course the Lord has too much anxiety about every soul. But at least if we connect one soul to Krishna, then Krishna's anxiety is, and he feels little bit relief. Of course, there are so many, so he's concerned about every soul. So the process of temple worship is called archan. How to perform archan will be explained herein. One should have complete faith in the words of Krishna, who says that he is the great well-wishing friend of everyone. Suridam sarva bhutanam. We should have faith in the words of Krishna. A devotee considers Krishna the only friend. Yes, Prabhupada is saying devotee considers Krishna the only friend, because he is the friend who will accompany us. We may have friends in this world, and devotees are our friends because they also connect us, they also inspire us to become Krishna conscious. So they are also our friends. And they are also sent by Krishna only in our life. A devotee considers Krishna the only friend, because this friend is very kind, very compassionate, and has all the power also to reciprocate with us. And he can solve all our problems. So, of course, pure devotee can also solve all the problems, because if he tells Krishna, then Krishna will, by the recommendation of a pure devotee, then Krishna will bestow his mercy. If pure devotee recommends, Krishna cannot refuse. Like we say, Radharani tells Krishna, oh, this person, he has brought some nice offering for you. Please accept it. Then Krishna cannot refuse the request of the pure devotee. So in that way, the pure devotee is also, he has also purchased Krishna. So whatever he wants, Krishna fulfills his desires. Of course, then we may say, well, Prabhupada already desired the deliverance of everybody. Why everybody is not getting delivered? That is a tricky question. If Krishna listens to the pure devotee, right, then why Prabhupada desired the deliverance of all the jivas, so that everybody can be delivered. That's the desire of pure devotee. So why is not everybody, why is Krishna not listening? So of course there is free will. Free will also comes into picture. But because he has desired deliverance, maybe at some point everybody will be delivered. But how long, we don't know. We say everybody will go back home, back to Godhead eventually. Right? But how much time it will take for every jiva? So a devotee considers Krishna the only friend. This is called Sakhyam. Pumsar Pita Vishnu. The word Pumsa means by all living entities. There are no distinctions permitting only a man or only a Brahmana to offer devotional service to the Lord. So considering Krishna as the only friend, this is called Sakhyam. Pumsar Pita Vishnu. The word Pumsa means by all living entities. There are no distinctions permitting only a man or only a Brahmana to offer devotional service to the Lord. Nobody is barred from serving the Lord. Mami Partha Vipashita Vyashritya Ye Pishu Mami Partha
Mami Pata Vipashita
Ye
Yeshe
Pishu.
Pata Yena Priyo Vaishya Tatha Shuddha Tete Yanti Paramgati.
Anyway, yes, Prabhupada is quoting that also. Yes, everyone can do so, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:32. Striyo Vaishya Tatha Shudras Tepi Yanti Paramgati. Although women Vaishyas and Shudras are considered less intelligent, they can also become devotees and return home back to Godhead. Of course, everybody is born Shudra in this age, so you are all less intelligent. But if you engage in Krishna's service, then you become intelligent. Je bhaje Krishna Shei Bada Chatur. Because you understood the goal of life. As long as you don't understand the goal of life, you are foolish. Whether you are man or woman or whatever. But as soon as you understand the goal of life, who you are, why you are here, then it's not.
Prabhuji, I had a question on
Yes.
this. So, verse, the Bhagavad Gita 9:32. So, how would we explain to someone, why women are, in what way are women considered less intelligent? I know, like you said, in today's world, everybody is less intelligent.
Yeah.
But specifically in this one, if somebody were to ask, why are women named in here?
Yeah. Somebody want to answer this question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I was just listening to. Go ahead, Mataji.
No. Go ahead.
I was just listening to Keshav Maharaj's lecture on the same topic. It was a Q&A session and someone asked the exact same question. And he said intelligence is of two kinds. So there's analytical and emotional intelligence. And men usually tend to have a higher analytical intelligence and women have higher emotional intelligence. And Vedas are pretty convoluted and they're complex. So to understand Vedas, I think the analytical skills are needed, but for devotion, that's why women tend to, a lot of more women come into devotional service to Krishna because that needs an emotional intelligence. So it's just how they are separated. It doesn't mean women are any less intelligent, but it's just the type of intelligence that women have is different from what men have. That was convincing to me, but
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I was thinking as well. Okay. Somebody else was gonna explain, or was it the same thing?
It was the same. Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, go ahead, Aishwarya. No, I was just gonna say it was the same video which I watched. Keshav Maharaj. Yeah, so I've been saying Veena Mataji explained. Yeah, yesterday in the lecture, Keshav Swami Maharaj was saying that sometimes he's answering the same question like hundredth time, because this is a very common question, and many women have this question: why Prabhupada is putting women in this category? But those who are more bodily conscious are less intelligent, and we know as women we are more bodily conscious. We were worried more about our look than men, right? Because the worth of a woman in this society is how she looks. So that is being less intelligent if we think we are this body.
Yeah, very interesting. Yes, I agree.
And also, Prabhupada has specified somewhere else that this applies to materialistic people. When it comes to devotees, men and women are equal.
Yes, he also says that in any they can easily bow down before the Lord. He says in one purport like that, because they don't have big false ego like men, and Krishna accepts this submissiveness. So he says in any religious function, as I hearing that women gather in more large numbers than men, like that. So that is also there. That because they can be easily accept the authority of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, less intelligent in the sense they are very naive also, that they can be easily be swayed by bad associations. That's why Prabhupada says they need to be protected all the time, with the father in young age, husband and then son in older age, because they are more prone to be exploited by the society. And in the past, women did not go to gurukuls. It was only meant for males. So now it's available. The scriptural knowledge is available there. But in the past, how the Vedic society was, that male was the knowing the scriptures and went to Gurukul, or females were supposed to just support the male and take care of the household and children.
Also, Prabhu, I think once there was a discussion where one brahmacharya, someone wanted to, they were the company of our three grihasthas, right? Malati Prabhu, Malati Mataji, three grihasthas, right, Prabhu, in UK. Then Prabhupada said, it's if you associate with them, you'll become saintly. It's not like devotees is in different category. It's like Prabhupada was putting them in. So.
Yeah, if you associate with this devotee women, you will become saintly. Yes, exactly. These are not ordinary souls. So, okay. And many of they did so much to spread Krishna consciousness. Women were distributing books, and so many devotees came. Those who are in like leadership position and like that. Sannyasis, and they were introduced. So, okay, there is some debate going on about Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus. Yeah, Charuta want to say something.
No, Prabhu, I think I accidentally got muted, but I was going to say this verse 932, I have heard it's interpreted in two different ways, right? The Papa Yonaya, like there are either 4 different categories, or instead of like saying these 3 are born of lower family, could be like, you know what I mean? Like the born of lower family, colon, and then these 3 categories is one way. And then born of lower family, comma, and these 3 categories. Does that make sense?
So whether Papa Junior is
I mean,
applicable.
here it says that Striya, Vaishnava and Shudra are born of lower family. But I have seen within Gaudiya Vaishnava someone else interpret that born of lower family is a separate fourth category.
So does it, this Papa Yona, does it apply to what follows, or is it like a Papa Yona is like a category by itself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that I've also seen that. Okay. So after performing sacrifices.
Also, Prabhuji, I want to add something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I came across this article, Chaitanya Charan Das Prabhuji, like where this question was commonly asked. So, um, like he was also saying that the emphasis in Prabhupada talks is not on labeling women as less intelligent just to justify subjugation, but rather to urge men to take responsibility for protecting and respecting them, because women and children is commonly used to refer to vulnerable groups who should not be harmed.
Yeah, women, children, old men, brahmanas, cows, like that they say they should be given protection. Okay, so
It's a call to act. It's a call to action for men to be more responsible.
yes.
And I think it's time, place, and circumstance applies to some of this. At least that's what brings me comfort. Because I don't know that I don't know that I know plenty of men who have no reasoning skills and are very compassionate, and I know plenty of women who are very analytical and not as capable. And so
Yeah. So it's case by case basis, right? It's not like every man and every woman, like so everybody has some different nature. So
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So moving on. After performing sacrifices, sometimes a person engaged in fruitive activity customarily offers the results to Vishnu. But here it is said, Bhagavatyadha. So this is like, okay, after doing the activity, you offer the result to Krishna. But this is saying, what he is saying is Bhagavatyadha. One must directly offer everything to Vishnu. This is called sannyas, not merely nyas. So the activity, not just that after you do the fruitive activity and then you give some result to Krishna. That is one way to look at it. I mean, but also offer the activity to Krishna. This is called sannyas, not merely nyas. A three-dandi sannyas carries the three dandas, signifying kayo, mano, vakya, body, mind, and words. All this should be offered to Vishnu, and then one can begin devotional service. Like Krishna says, first think of me and then do your activity, and then offer the results also. Fruitive workers first perform some pious activities and then formally or officially offer the results to Vishnu. The real devotee, however, first offers his surrender to Krishna with his body, mind, and words, and then uses his body, minds, and words for the service of Krishna as Krishna desires. So this is the difference between karma yoga and bhakti yoga. Karma yoga means you do what you like to do and then give the result to Krishna. But in bhakti yoga or pure bhakti yoga, first consideration is what Krishna wants me to do, and then I will do that. So there is surrender, more surrender. That's what Prabhupada says. The real devotee, however, first offers his surrender to Krishna with his body, mind, and words, and then uses his body, mind, and words for the service of Krishna as Krishna desires. And how do we know what Krishna is desiring? That comes from the gurus, what service we are getting, and like that. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta.
Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always chant my name. Manmana bhav mad bhakto. Madchitta satatam. Always think of me. Ananyas chitta satatam. So Also, this purport is referring to this verse: Kayena vacha manasendriya buddhyatmana vanustra svabhavat karoti yadyat sakalam parasmai narayaniti samarpayat. So whatever we do with our kaya, our body, our vacha, our words, and manas, our minds, should be done for the pleasure of Narayan.
Yes. And whatever Krishna desires, that is how we engage. So sometimes they say karma yoga means, oh, I like to do business. Okay, because I like to do business. So I will do business and then offer the results of my business to Krishna. But the little difference here that first, okay, I like to do business, but my Guru Maharaj doesn't want me to do business, but he wants me to preach, let's say. So then I will do what I surrender first, and I accept what is told I should do, and I'll do that. So there is a surrender. Of course, chanting, hearing, if you like, it is always like Krishna always says you chant by holy name. But I'm saying for other things, yeah. If you want to, let's say, yeah, get married, let's say, and your Guru Maharaj says, no, don't get married. Then you say, okay, I will not get married. Like that, something like that. So you are surrendering. Or vice versa. If you don't want to get married and your Guru Maharaj says, no, get married. Then you do that, whatever is that surrender. So that's what Prabhupada did. The real devotee first offers his surrender to Krishna with his body, mind and words, and then uses his body, mind and words for the service of Krishna as Krishna desires. So the pure devotee, of course, that is why we say surrender to the pure devotee precedes surrender to Krishna. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following explanation in his Tathya. The word Shravan refers to giving oral reception to the holy name and description of the Lord's form, qualities, entourage and pastimes as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita and similar authorized scriptures. So now Prabhupada is explaining about Shravan. After orally receiving such messages, one should memorize these vibrations. So we should memorize, means remember, and we should be able to explain it in a way that is suitable for the audience. This was one thing Keshav Maharaj was saying yesterday. He finds this lacking in ISKCON, that to connect with the audience, right? He was saying this is a very big need, that we have to connect somehow with the audience. Memorize these vibrations means and repeat them. So we have to memorize and repeat the message in a way that the audience can understand. So like Prabhupada would give so many analogies, so many things like that in it, so that we can make others understand the message and repeat them, kirtanam. So we should know what.
He also says that.
Go ahead.
He also says that just don't give a lot of information. Try to give a little information and see that the people can remember at least something from that discourse.
Correct. Yes.
So that is important.
Yeah. They have something to take home like that. Yeah. Smaranam means trying to understand more and more about the Supreme Lord. Of course, yeah, different devotees speak in different ways, but yeah, and he was saying, right, yeah, you may not agree with whatever I say, but this one he said, don't be a spotlight, be a lighthouse. So don't speak as if it's like a performance you have to do, and everybody should clap after the performance. So it's not like that. It's not a performance. It is more about making the audience understand conversation. He was saying performance, presentation, and conversation. So it was to involve and like that. Of course, Prabhupada.
Yeah, and also I feel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhuji, you have to finish something.
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, I just came across in one of the lecture, like sometimes like more than, giving information, our actions will speak louder. How we behave when we are around people, that speaks volume. Compared to like just repeating words, that is important, but like Nitai Sevani Mataji in one of her class, like she was saying, like once one devotee was on book distribution, and like one person, like he was doing his duty, but one person, like he was very angry and like he was not in a good mood. He came to this preacher and the preacher started showing the book. He was so angry that he spitted and he just went away. But later, like that person, arrogant person, was seeing from distant. Like even after giving such reaction to the preacher uh, just like did not get offended. He just got up and he just kept on doing his duty. Then like he just had little transformation. That arrogant person had a little transformation in his heart. He came to this devotee and said that, I want to get this book because this book has something like which has made you like this. Like even I behaved so bad with you, but still like, you remained so humble and you just like, did not give any reaction to me back. So there is something like good which made you like this. Like, so, I'm interested to take this book. So like when we encounter such situations, I think, I feel like, yeah, as a devotees also, we should try more concerned about our behaviors sometimes, so that way, like, more people are attracted to our how we treat them. And sometimes they might not remember, like, the slokas or anything that we might have preached them, but they would always remember how we treat them. So that's just I wanted to add.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So sadhana and
Yeah, and ultimately,
sadachar. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, purity is the force. The same words, I mean, doesn't take much to repeat the words from the scriptures or what we have heard. But whether those words will have effect on the audience is based on your purity, right? And then he was asking if somebody asks a question and your response, that actually is showing your advancement. Why? Because you didn't prepare for the answer. It will come naturally from within the heart, whatever you speak. Right, for classes and somebody can prepare such a nice class, you can hear from so many sources and repeat the words, but when somebody asks a question, what you will speak is what actually you have understood. He was talking about understanding the matter. If it is clear in your mind, then you can convey it properly. If you're just repeating like a parrot, then audience will not connect to that unless it is realized knowledge coming from practical realization.
As Nitai Mataji was also saying that we don't have to parrot, like some we have to be sensitive to our audience and connect in a way like what we were discussing before, so that it has an impact on them. Because sometimes when they're new, like they don't know anything, but as an existing devotees, like when we know something, I think yeah, we need to be a little more sensitive to. Um,
Okay, thank you. Smaranam means trying to understand more and more about the Supreme Lord, and Padasevanam means engaging oneself in serving the lotus feet of the Lord according to time and circumstances. So Prabhupada says Smaranam means trying to understand more and more about the Supreme Lord. So basically, yeah, the more you understand, the more you feel closeness, the more you remember Him. Archanam means worshipping Lord Vishnu as one does in the temple. And Vandanam means offering respectful obeisances. Man manabhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Vandanam means namaskuru, offering obeisances or offering prayers. So even offering obeisances is considered as Vandanam. Thinking oneself to be Nitya Krishna Das, everlastingly a servant of Krishna, is called Dasyam, and Sakhyam means being a well-wisher of Krishna. So previously Prabhupada says to consider Krishna as the only friend is called Sakhyam. Now Sakhyam is saying means being a well-wisher of Krishna. So Krishna is our well-wisher, but we have to be a well-wisher of Krishna. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, I am telling you this knowledge because you are my Sakhya, you are my well-wisher. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. He says, you are my devotee, you are my friend, Sakhyam, and you are well-wisher, Prabhupada says. So that's why you are not envious of me. So I am revealing this knowledge to you. Krishna wants everyone to surrender to him because everyone is constitutionally servant. Therefore, as a sincere friend of Krishna, one should preach this philosophy. So as a friend of Krishna, we want our friend to be like known to everybody. He's such a nice person. So Krishna wants that everybody should surrender to him. Therefore, as a sincere friend of Krishna, one should preach this philosophy, requesting everyone to surrender to Krishna. Atmanivedanam means offering Krishna everything, including one's body, mind, intelligence, and whatever one may possess. So now Prabhupada has given an overview of all the 9, and then he will take each one of them. And I think he's going to elaborate on each one of the 9 processes of devotional service. Okay, so we will stop here. Where's the... Okay, now anybody like to share anything or say or
So I heard from devotees, and by the way, there's a lot of background now.